All right, y'all, let's get into it. This is the Ask Dr. Kojo segment. My name is Kojo. I'm checking in from sunny Los Angeles. Relax, I can't go back and redo that. But my name is Kojo Sarko, and we're checking in from sunny Los Angeles, California. How are y'all doing today? And I would love for you all to go ahead and introduce yourself, let me know where y'all checking in from, and hit me up with the questions. I got a little bit of time, so I want to answer some of you all's questions. Olivia Rodriguez Rufe, how you doing? And this is my little pin post so y'all can see a little bit about me. So I'm Caitlin. Caitlin, nice to meet you. I see you're checking in from YouTube. What's up? What's up? And you're from Alaska. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Happy to have you here. Jillian has the first question. How do I continue with being in a slump? All right. So Jillian, here's the thing. Let's not try and do too much, right? It's a Friday afternoon / evening. You feel like you're in a slump. Focus on one thing that you do well that you're proud of and keep doing that one thing and let that improve your self-confidence and try and get back to the right direction, okay? Don't judge yourself, but the little things do matter. Mike from Ontario, how are you doing? Are you really going to... Yeah, I'm going to be answering questions. I'm answering... If you're watching this, we're live right now. Steven, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Leilani, how are you doing? Long time no see. Fontana, California. Brian, what's good? Lauren, what's going on? I appreciate you. Tia from Florida, what's up? Thiley Ramirez from California, how are you doing? How are you doing? I'm happy to see all of y'all here. All right. Lindsay, good question. How do I take care of my mother with BPD better? First of all, just the fact that you're asking this question, lets me believe that you're a fantastic daughter. You're doing everything you can to help out your mom. I would say don't judge. Do everything you can to show your mother that you care for her regardless of her diagnosis. Treat her like a person and understand borderline personality disorder, right? Understand that if y'all having issues, let's say y'all don't talk for a little bit, maybe you understand that, okay, sometimes mom struggles when we get to these arguments or discussions, and she might say some things that could be hurtful. Not that we should condone that, but try to understand if you can detach the diagnosis away from the person, right? And say, hey, I love my mom, and sometimes, she struggles, but she's a human being as well. I think treating her with respect and empathy and compassion will let her know that she raised a good daughter. And just by you asking this question, I feel good about where things will go after this. Billy, I found you after my first psych ward stay. And Billy, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love those comments. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. KJ says, tips on reducing untreated anxiety and ADHD. Really, really, really good question. So, you said untreated anxiety and ADHD. The technical answer for this, to really, the best way to get better is to get professional help. But if you're having untreated anxiety and ADHD, going back to the basics can help out so much, right? And I'm going to start using that phrase on this live stream so much more. Back to the basics. Back to the basics. What does that mean? Going to sleep at a good time, waking up, after you've gotten 7 to 8 hours of sleep, doing your activities of daily living, brushing your teeth, taking a shower to the best of your ability, having a small morning routine. Those things can be very helpful. Surrounding yourself with people that care for you, people that love you, people that appreciate you. And as somebody with ADHD myself, and I would say I have anxiety. It's not diagnosed, but I would say that right there would do a lot for me. Courtney says, how do you stop intrusive thoughts? Ooh, good question right here. It's a good question, Courtney. So here's the thing with intrusive thoughts. Trying to stop the intrusive thought is going to cause you more pain, right? So Courtney, I'll use myself as an example. Let's say I have a video about this. I'll post it shortly. Let's say I'm having an intrusive thought about my best friend's girlfriend, right? And I'm having weird sexual thoughts about her, thinking that, oh, maybe we should be together, or whatever the case may be. That could be embarrassing, right? And then anytime I get around my friend, I might be a little awkward, thinking to myself, I wonder if my friend knows that I think this way about his lady. And it's not that I'm a bad person or I want to interrupt a relationship. Maybe the intrusive thought came across my brain. I'm not a bad person, right? I can say, oh, it's an intrusive thought. I don't know where it came from. Hey, it came, it was gone. It is what it is. I'm not going to define me or let it make me feel like I'm a bad person, you know? So really good question, Courtney. All right. So how can I handle the dizziness from going up in medicine? So Rachel, first of all, I don't know what medication you're taking, and I can't legally comment on that, right? Like, unfortunately, I got boundaries, and I can only talk about so much. But I would say, anytime, like just switching positions, like if you're like right now, I'm sitting down, right? So if I stand up, like I may want to do that slowly, you know. I think just getting into a practice of switching positions slowly, especially if you're dealing with this side effect from medications. A lot of medications may tend to cause this where, you know, what's the term? I think it's orthostatic hypotension. That's how we say it. But some meds may kind of throw you off a little bit, or you feel like your equilibrium's a little off. So, you know, go back and let your provider know. Say, hey, you know, you switch up my meds a little bit, you know, this, that, and the third, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit dizzy. Is it related to the medications, this, that, and the third? But just as general practice for all of us, like just as, you know, as we go through our day, like we can just take our time, change the positions, you know, standing up, sitting down, right? You know, just put that into your practice and it can be helpful. And sometimes I get in a hurry. I'm like, you know, so just maybe taking our time with things could be a little bit helpful. All right, Melanie. And gotcha. But so if you're on YouTube, just drop the question on the, like the same way you commented. Just drop the question in there, and I'll do my best to answer it. I have moderators now, so maybe it's going to be helpful. And another thing I'll do is I'm going to start, like when I play video games, I'm going to stream it and put it here, and then just make it like a Q&A type thing so I can get to more questions. So yeah, I wanted to say that. But let me get back to Melanie's question. Motivation, how do I get it and keep it? Lack of schedule makes me depressed and accomplish nothing. Help me. Well, it's a good question, Melanie. Let me talk about this for a second because it can help a lot of people out. So motivation, how do I get it? I don't know. I've been trying to figure this out for years. I don't know how motivation comes. Like, let's say I watch a video from a motivational speaker on YouTube. After I watch that video, Melanie, I'm gonna get motivated. I'm gonna be like, all right, it's time to turn my life around. I'm gonna start cleaning my room. I'm gonna be like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna stop self-sabotaging. Like I'm ready to start my life, right? But then after the video was done and the dopamine has worn off, I have to figure out where am I gonna get the next source of motivation, right? Maybe I'll try and find another video. But if I run out of videos or if it's just not clicking, I'm going to be stuck, right? So relying on motivation is okay, but I would say let's try and focus on this discipline and routine. Can we get a small routine, a small schedule to adhere to, and that's going to be a game changer, right? So when I say going back to the mental health basics, getting enough sleep, getting proper nutrition, having a simple routine, something as simple as I wake up every morning at 9 o'clock, I go for a walk, I come back and I eat a high protein breakfast. Super simple, right? Just doing that every day for let's say 2 or 3 weeks, I would not be surprised if somebody did that and they came back and they were like, you know what, I feel like my depression is not as bad. And I'm not saying this is gonna cure you, Melanie. I'm just using it like for example purposes. But just having a simple routine, something you can stick to and adhere to, that is gonna help you out so much. Because motivation comes and goes, right? And I don't know what makes it come, and I don't know what makes it go. But I know when I'm motivated, I'm gonna strike while the iron is hot and do the thing that I got to do. But it doesn't come every day. Like you might go a week without motivation, but if you have that routine, it's gonna help you out when the motivation is not there, Melanie. So hopefully that's helpful for you. All right. So Taylor says, "What's your best advice for a custodian or anyone who works independently who has ADHD?" Oh, this is a good question. That's a good question. I'm getting excited about this. I would say figure out what are you really good at, right? And what can you do better than most people? And what do you struggle with, right? Because if you struggle with a certain thing, there may be shame and embarrassment around that thing. It may take you longer to do it, and it could impact your job performance, right? Likewise, what are you really good at? If you're good at one part of your job, right? Really highlight that thing and be the best person at that part of your job, right? Like if you're a custodian and the beginning of the day when you have to like come up with a list of where we need to organize stuff. If you're really good at that, hone in on that. Do that more and more. And then it gets to a point where you may even want to become an entrepreneur. A lot of people with ADHD are really good at, having all these extra side interests and side quests. Maybe you can open up a course and teach people art, like custodian 101, or organizing your boxes at home, right? So Taylor, position yourself to where you can do things that are good for your self-esteem, right? Like I said, if you're good at organizing things, hey, my name is Taylor and I have ADHD, and I struggle with so and so, but I'm really good at organizing boxes, right? And I'm gonna start posting free YouTube videos to teach people how to organize boxes really quickly. And if people comment, "Oh, Taylor, thank you so much for teaching me this. I didn't know how to organize my bookshelf. I really appreciate you." When you hear those things over and over and over, what that does is that's the reverse of what they used to tell you when you were a kid. Like, "Oh, you're spaced out, are we gonna have to hold this kid back? They're not smart." All those things that you were told as a kid with ADHD that kind of like it made your self-esteem go to like the lowest low. You're gonna reverse that as an adult by doing things that you're good at. So that's my best piece of advice. And thank you for asking that question, because you get my mind to go in certain different ways. And I'm even thinking about, what am I good at? How can I improve with what I'm doing? So really, really good question right there. Next question. Have you seen success stories with people that are borderline? Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think so. There's a whole lot of shame that comes with borderline personality disorder. So I think that's why people don't come out and say, "Hey, I have borderline personality disorder." You're just now starting to see people come out and say, "Hey, like I have BPD, and I'm going to dialectical behavioral therapy. I'm working on myself." But just 2 years ago, nobody was talking about this, right? So it was like if you had borderline personality disorder, you were kind of like by yourself, and maybe you'd find somebody else who's like, "Oh, I have BPD too," and then y'all just kind of quiet about it, like, "All right, cool," But now people are expressive and telling their stories. A good person that I'd like you to watch is my friend Dr. Courtney Tracy. Her name is the Truth Doctor on Instagram and on I think Facebook as well. But she has borderline personality disorder. She is also a doctor, and she posts about personal. She comes from the heart, kind of like when I come out here, I come from the heart, and I'm speaking to you as Kojo, not Dr. Kojo. Like I'm speaking to you like I'm just coming as me. And what I love about Dr. Courtney Tracy is that the Truth Doctor. Let me put it up here. She she's upfront. She talks about having borderline, and how it impacted her in her marriage, and how she said she struggled with. She talks about all of her struggles, and she doesn't hide it. She doesn't pull any punches. She's authentic and transparent, and I like her account because it shows that yes, you can have borderline personality disorder and you can still be successful, right? A diagnosis doesn't have to hold you back, because a diagnosis is just that. It's just a diagnosis. It doesn't define who you are. Really, really good question. Ooh, another good question right here. Yay! Really, really good question right here. Is it possible to control your ADHD without medication? So this is what I'll say. With ADHD, we know that the first line treatment is the stimulants, right? Because we have a lot of evidence that says that, hey, if this person comes in with ADHD and we give them Vyvanse, Adderall, Ritalin, Concerta, name it, or even Wellbutrin or whatever it is, right? We have a lot of evidence that says, okay, this really works out for people, but it doesn't work out for everybody, right? And for some people, they don't like the medications, or some people don't want to take meds, right? And you have to respect their decision. So it shouldn't be, hey, please take this pill. It should be more so of, hey, let's work together to fix this puzzle. Here's a medication that the literature says it could be helpful in doing X, Y, and Z. Would you like this? Oh, you don't want it? All right, cool. All right, let's go back to the drawing board. What else can we do? Can we help you out with your routine? Who are you hanging out with? Are you hanging out with people that are making you feel better about yourself? People that are making you feel worse? Are you how's your diet? Are you cutting back on sugary foods? Are you starting to put in high protein foods in there? Like, what are we doing in the morning? Are you eating? Are you exercising? Are you getting deliberate exercise in every single day? Good for your heart, good for your brain. Are you sleeping? Not sleeping can mess with your memory. like if anybody, the 182 people who are watching right now, if we all stop sleeping for like the next 3 or 4 days, we will all think that we have ADHD if we don't, right? It's going to be hard to focus. It's going to be hard to stay organized, right? Are we doing the basics that we need to do? So it is possible to control your ADHD without medication. It may be harder, but I know a lot of people who have ADHD who are doing really well, and they're not using medications, but they're using all of these things, the things that they don't tell you. And that's probably the biggest failure, collectively, all of us as healthcare professionals, myself included, because I'm part of that group. You know, somewhere along the way, we told ourselves that we can just give people a pill and send them home and they'll be fine. But it cuts deeper than that. It's not just that. Like you have to teach them, how do they talk to themselves? How do you talk to the people around you? How do you put yourself in the best position to win? How do you deal with employment? When you get bored of your job, how do you pivot, right? If you get bored of your job and you want to quit and you don't have money coming in, like what are you going to do? Like one thing of Adderall is not going to fix all of these things, right? So I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned with ADHD. It's medications first line, yes, they're helpful and they do a lot, but it goes deeper than that, and that's why when I post my content, I'm thinking about, like, I never go medication first when I post my content. I never go Vyvanse, that's the answer. No, I go, hey, how are you talking to yourself? Who are you hanging out with? What are you doing in your free time? Are you overwhelming yourself? Are you trying to do too much in one day? Are you judging yourself for what you didn't get done last week? So those are very, very important things. Noemi, really good question. Thank you for asking me that. And let me see. Running behind on time. Let me get one more question. And these questions are so good, Vicky Piggy. Is sleepiness a sign of ADHD? So Kayla, I mean, in the DSM-5, it doesn't say if you're very sleepy, you could have ADHD, right? But we know that people with ADHD, you may have racing thoughts at night. It may be hard for you to get to bed, and because of that, you might be sleepy in the daytime. Or, with ADHD, a lot of people don't just have that. You may have depression as well. So you may struggle with hypersomnia, sleeping too much, right? So there's so many different things that can affect it. But to answer your question, it's not a sign of ADHD. Like, being sleepy like throughout the day does not automatically mean ADHD, if that's your question. Let me see. All right, I appreciate that. I'll check them in just a second. Thank you so much. All right, I lied. Let me get one more question in. Let me see the new Rebecca. No, I am not. I'm not familiar with it. I need to go back myself and look at this medication. I think for providers, you kind of stick with what So for me, somebody comes in and they're depressed and they're anxious, I'm thinking Zoloft, I'm thinking Celexa, Lexapro, Wellbutrin. But no, I would need to educate myself. All right, let me get one more question. I keep saying over a question. Oh, Facebook user, hey, I appreciate this. I appreciate y'all. Like y'all not taking up my time. The only hard part was getting the stream set up and learning how to stream. But like now that I figured this thing out, I will be going live more. Now that I figured it out. So do medications. All right, let me answer this question. Do meds cause issues of memory? Ooh, good question. So Brittany, first of all, you have to think, what medication are you talking about specifically? There's a lot of different medications. So it depends on the medication, right? If the medication is making you sleepy, is it fogging up your memory, right? If the medication is making you, like, let's say you take, I don't know what medication you're saying, but let's say you take ADHD medication and you can focus now, but you hyper focus on one thing and you forgot the other things that you're supposed to do, then it wasn't messing with your memory, but you maybe forgot to do the other things, right? If that makes sense. But if you're talking about ADHD specifically, ADHD, you have issues with your working memory, which means that right now I can tell you who was the quarterback in the Super Bowl. Like, I can tell you the quarterbacks who won the last 9 Super Bowls, right? From who won it this past year, Matthew Stafford to Brady, Mahomes. Like, I can tell you all that stuff, but I might forget why I went into the kitchen, right? I'm like, oh, I went into the kitchen, but what did I need? Like, I told myself that I placed my keys right there 5 minutes ago. I can't find them. Like, that's struggling with your working memory, right? And that's like an ADHD type of thing. But you can see it with other things. All right. All right. All right. I need. All right. I gotta get back to some work. Mickey Ficky. Oh shoot. Please read up is exciting news. Rebecca, I will. And thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. I need to go look and see what the evidence is. You know, whenever there's new information, I'm like, all right, I gotta go back and I gotta do homework. I gotta do homework. Like people forget, I have to do homework on all ends with the social media, figuring out what videos work, what we all want to see, and also with the literature. You know, and I will be doing more research myself on things for ADHD, things for depression. People keep asking me. Somebody the other day, before I get off, I will get off. But somebody was saying something like I was anti-marijuana, and I'm like, I'm not anti-marijuana. If I had anything to do with it, I would want us to put more money into research for cannabis, for alternative, methods. Like I wish we could do that, but I'm still a healthcare professional, and I still have to practice based off of evidence-based information. So if there's no evidence that like says, hey, THC is like directly going to help out with symptoms of X, Y, and Z, then I can't promote that. But I want us to look into all avenues to help out people. Because if until the day that nobody's suffering, then we need to be looking for, ways to help out people. So that's what I would say. All right. One more thing before I get off. Sorry, Missy. I will say this. For me personally, let me talk about myself personally. I have seen an improvement. Like whenever I'm in the gym, like the moment I come out, that's normally when I write out my ideas or when I start to organize myself for the day. The gym is one of the best things for me, for my ADHD personally. And like when I don't go to the gym, like I feel like I'm lost. Like I feel kind of like not. I feel like weird. Like the gym has become so big for me. So yeah. But if y'all have to go lift heavy weights like me, just literally getting outside the house and going for a walk, a brisk walk in the morning, 15, 20 minutes every single day, trying to change your eating habits, those things can go a long way. So don't forget that can be very helpful for you. So, all right. I do have to get off, but I will come back on a little bit later on tonight. I want to do a gaming stream. It might be later on, but all of the streams will be saved. So if you didn't get to ask me a question, I'll do more of these with the red borders where I can just answer some of you all's questions. So I do have to get off and check a couple of videos and stuff. So, all right. You all take care. I love y'all, and I will see y'all at the next live stream. And Libby, I see your comment. We will circle back to it.